This weekend, the thwack of pads hitting pads mingles with the sounds of cheerleaders and the smell of popcorn. What's that mean? It's time for high school football. Good evening, football fans, and welcome to the season premiere of high school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling of Lancaster and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, AM 1590 WPVL.com, the AM 1590 WPVL Sports Radio app worldwide, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. From Jerry Usgard Field at River Ridge High School in Patch Grove, this is the season opener for the Highland Cardinals and the River Ridge Timberwolves. From the Wolf Construction broadcast booth, I'm Steve Prestigard along with Tom Nisis, and we think we're going to have perhaps one of the better games going on in Southwest Wisconsin tonight. Two teams that won their conferences last year and two long-standing rivals.
You really kind of threw me a little bit on the open there. I wasn't sure what was going on. Can I add one item?
Feel free.
Leg cramps. We saw a lot of leg cramps at Lancaster last night.
I can believe that.
So hopefully the guys are hydrated because it's very, you're right, the air is very heavy and it's very humid. Yeah, this should be a good one, Steve. Both teams lost a lot from last year's team through graduation. Both were very good last year. Both expect to be good this year. It's going to be interesting to see which young players step up first.
And for whatever, even with all of the graduations from last year, and we're talking quarterbacks and running backs and receivers and all of that, Highland is still picked to win the Ridge and Valley Conference according to WisSports.net. And River Ridge is picked for third in the Six Rivers Conference. So everybody else seems to think these two teams are not going to lose that much from last year.
Yeah, and the Six Rivers is a very difficult football conference. So being picked third is no disrespect. You know, and last year was the first time in many years that Ridge was able to win a conference championship in football. They tied with Potosi. They had two great games with Potosi, and we were here. I believe it was RJ and I doing the playoff game between Potosi and River Ridge, and Potosi was able to rally for two touchdowns in the fourth quarter to move on. So this is going to be an interesting start. I hope the weather cooperates. The field looks in great shape, and these young men are ready to go.
And so are we. It is time for the Raleigh Cheese pregame show presented by Raleigh Cheese at the intersection of Highways 11 and 23 in the heart of Lafayette County.
And don't forget the cheese.
On ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL.
Pregame one. For residential, commercial, or ag building projects, call on Wolf Construction LLC of Lancaster. Todd Wolf and his crew pride themselves in providing full service for their customers at the highest of quality. Wolf Construction LLC of Lancaster.
A buy local loan from Wisconsin Bank and Trust allows you to use the funds for any purpose. Replace a broken water heater or upgrade your furniture. Funds are typically available within 2 to 3 business days. Visit WisconsinBankandTrust.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What does the lifetime comfort guarantee from Dubuque Mattress really mean? It means peace of mind. For the entire life of your Dubuque mattress, we will adjust the feel of it. If it feels a little too firm, we'll make it softer. If your mattress feels too soft, we'll make it firmer. We take the "what if I don't like it" out of mattress shopping to give you peace of mind. Dubuque Mattress for the rest of your life.
At Dubuque Mattress Factory, you got a little snooze time.
Pregame one.
Raleigh Cheese pregame show on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, Highland and River Ridge to open the season. We're joined now by Highland coach Mike Abe. Thanks for joining us. Certainly, if you look at the game on paper tonight, this seems like quite a good game, maybe one of the best games in the area because you have two conference champions and big rivals and all of that.
Yeah, yep. I think Coach Winkers has done a tremendous job with his program over the years, and they got a very good team. They'll have a very good team again this year. We're both lost a lot of seniors, which it's kind of tough in a way, but on the other way, it's time to reload and get after it. And it's, after last year, the success that we both had, I know there's high expectations on both teams, so I would expect tonight's game to be very, very exciting.
And in your particular case, you're a little bit behind the eight ball in a sense, given the fact that you have a lot of people who graduated from a very good team last year, but apparently you're the favorites, perhaps along with Ithaca, in the Ridge and Valley Conference. So you're not starting like you're going to sneak up on anybody, right?
No, we're definitely. I know teams are looking for us, and I think we've built the program now where we're very solid, and we come into a game, you're going to get our best for sure, and we practice that way, and so hopefully our practice translates to our game tonight. I just know it's going to be a battle. We got some new kids in there that are going to be playing different positions, and just hoping for the best. That they start off on the right foot and get going right off the bat.
As far as your team goes, how do you feel like you've replaced the kids? Because you did have a lot of great players graduate, certainly.
Yeah, yep. I think we've, for the most part, those young men that were like JV players last year, or even JV, for reserve that probably played quite a bit last year, even on the varsity level, in some of those second halves. But I feel like those kids have now stepping into their own. They've become what I'm hoping for is a starter both ways, and to really be able to fill in the position that I know they can do. There's been a lot of bumps in the road here, learning curve-wise, because a lot of these kids haven't played at that varsity level, that varsity speed. At scrimmage, we really could see that. But I think tonight's game, they're really going to see it, and we'll see it as coaching staff, that all this hard work that we put in those last 3 weeks are going to start showing that they can be a varsity starter and they can play at the speed that we need them to play at.
Okay, so and then River Ridge, of course, is in kind of the same situation where you are, as having to replace some kids that were very good and graduated from last year. What do you expect from the Timberwolves tonight?
Well, I know they've got speed just by watching film. They're going to be able to get to the edge, and they're pretty good. They run a very balanced offense. You've got to be very, very disciplined to make sure that you make the correct reads. We have our linebackers stepping the wrong hole, we're going to get burnt for sure. Outside linebackers and defensive backs, they got to shut off blocks and be able to get to the edge. I think Ridge is going to really try to use their speed on us, and we got to do our best to prevent that from letting them get big gains. Defensively, I feel very solid about our front seven, front eight. We've got 4 very good defensive linemen and 4 very good linebackers. So, but again, those are new kids, but I feel very confident that we'll, with our defensive scheme, we should be able to hold our own, I hope, and with no injuries, and knock on wood, just kind of do what we know how to do, and hopefully we'll be successful by the end of the night.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, and good luck tonight.
Thanks, Steve. Sure appreciate it.
Highland coach Mike Aid, and we'll be back with more after this on AM 1590 WPVL. All right, that takes care of that. I have, if I remember right,
Owners Insurance have industry expertise that can cover all types of businesses.
Having an insurance agency that understands our business is a real benefit. They know our people. It's something Tricor does really well.
okay, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. All right, I think we're ready to go. So let's do this in 3, 2, 1.
TricorInsurance.com to learn more about Tricor Insurance Cycle of Care.
Hi, this is Christine Raleigh of Raleigh Cheese, wishing all area athletes successful seasons. Cheese is a great source of protein for school lunches or snacks before the big game. Stop in and try some of our award-winning artisan cheeses like Dunbarton Blue, Red Rock, and Little Mountain. We have fresh cheeses weekly and a wide variety of snacks and beverages, plus made-to-order cheese trays. Shop locally and taste the difference of handmade Wisconsin cheese at Raleigh Cheese House on the corner of Highways 11 and 23, Shellsburg.
Pre-game 2.
Raleigh Cheese pregame show continues on AM 1590 WPVL, Highland and River Ridge. For the season opener, we're joined now by River Ridge coach Wade Winkers. And Wade, thanks for joining us. This is going to be, seems to be a good early start, especially considering 2 conference champions and old-time rivals in what used to be the Six Rivers Conference, and before that, the Blackhawk Conference.
Yeah, it should be an exciting night. They're kind of had really good success the last few years. So have we. We've played them each year. It's been great football games. We both lose a lot of really great players from last year's conference championship teams. So it'll be a lot of growth involved in this game. A lot of hiccups in early season game. It's turnovers. It's special teams. It's penalties. Who has the fewer of those and can execute their system.
Let's talk a little bit about the special thing tonight, honoring the memory of the longtime, well, let's see, Bloomington West Grant, and River Ridge coach Jerry Usgard. You played for him, and you were on the team that got to state, which I remember doing that game before state. It was a tremendous thrill for everybody. What do you remember about that?
Oh, I remember many things, I guess, but some of the certain plays within the game, our goal line stand, and then the 99.5-yard drive afterwards. I remember the emotion of going to Coach Usgard after it, and that we finally had pushed him to the state championship game after so many close calls. With 2 years before that, as a sophomore, we lost in overtime in that same game. And I remember walking off the field that day and how upsetting it was, and how crushed to work as successful as he was. He'd never been in the state championship game, and we finally got him there.
And the funny thing about that team is, from what I understand, you guys didn't win the conference. You were a little bit of a dark horse, I guess, going into the postseason, but it's how you finish, right?
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't say we were a dark horse. I'd say we were underachieving in the regular season. We were a pretty good football team. We just didn't play well. We had to win our last two games. We were 3-4, had to win our last two games against Potosi and Cassville to get in, and we did that, and then rattled off 4 more of them.
Well, that's the kind of finish you like to have, certainly. And any season that ends up at Camp Randall's a success, right?
Yeah. Oh, heck yes. Heck yes.
All right. So what kind of team do you feel like you have this season with the people that you have to replace from a very good year last year?
We've got a few players here and there that have played a lot of football last year, or maybe the year before, but we're going to be really young. I think what we have playing tonight will be 3 starters returning on offense, and only one, actually none of them are playing the same position. I mean, they're moved around on the offensive line, or they're one skill position to another. Defensively, it's very similar. I think we have 5 returning starters. So we're going to be pretty inexperienced tonight, which turnover happens when you lose 10 really good football players, especially some of the quality that we had last year in a Logan Drone and David Nice. We're suiting up on Saturdays for college teams right now, and they're flying up depth charts and impressing those coaches. So it's obviously dudes to replace, but our guys are up for the challenge. We're just going to have some growing pains, I think, and that's why we get a couple non-conference games to start the year.
Okay, and of course, Highland, sort of a similar situation. They lose a lot of firepower, but boy, does that team have a lot of firepower, it looks like. What kind of challenges are the Cardinals going to bring you tonight?
Well, I mean, we've got film on them from their scrimmage, and I think they've got a couple quarterbacks that they're going to be using possibly. The dynamic to throw the ball is always tough because it's hard to practice against it. Because guys that are throwing it for us got to be practicing, and on the defensive side, so we don't have a lot of quality reps there. So their pass game worries me. They're always a really physical, fast defense, and with the young guys on offense that we're going to have, that how do we respond to that? The collisions early on, and it'll be a good test, but I think it'll be a good test for them too, for having to play us.
All right, and we are looking forward to it. Thanks a lot, and good luck today.
Thanks a lot, Stephen. Appreciate the coverage.
We enjoy doing it. Wade Rinkers, the River Ridge coach, will be back with more from River Ridge after these messages on AM 1590 WPVL.
In game 1.
All right, that should take care of it. Appreciate everything. By the way, did our
20 convenient locations in southwest Wisconsin and northeast Iowa. If you're looking for a place where you're more than just a number, but still have access to convenient technology, we're it. As a community bank, we're proud to support many of the local charities, county fairs, community events, and more. When you become part of People's State Bank, you can be confident that you're standing with a good cause. People's State Bank, community-minded, just like you. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Would you please remain standing and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem?
For air quality and home protection. Not only do we take care of your premises, air
High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling and Wolf Construction on AM 1590 WPVL. Colors of the game are brought to you by Cuba City Family Dental, where the colors are always bright white without putting your finances in the red. River Ridge is in purple with white pants and purple helmets, and Highland is in their road white jerseys, red pants or cardinal pants, and white helmets for the first game of the year, which means it is the first time for the Shoebox Scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. There were a few games last night. Lancaster, for instance, over Mineral Point 52-19. That was on 97.7 Country WGLR. Also, Waterloo shut out Pecatonica Argyle 42-0. Where's the other one? Westby over Richland Center 41-0, and cashed it over Ithaca 26-0. Tonight in the Six Rivers, Southwestern East Dubuque makes its world premiere at Riverdale. Wazeeka Steuben Seneca is at Potosi Cassville, and Blackhawk Ward is at North Fond du Lac. And the Ridge and Valley Basketball is at Royal. New Lisbon is at Hillsboro, and the Milk Can game is Fenimore at Iowa Grant. In the Swall tonight, Cambridge at Belleville, Cuba City at Bondwell, and Orfordville Parkview Albany is at Fall River Rio. Also, Platteville at Darlington, which is on Extreme 107.1. Cuba City and Bondwell, by the way, is on Super Hits 106. And in the Southwest Conference tonight, Edgerton is at Broadhead Judah, Madison Edgewood at River Valley, Viroqua at Dodgeville, and Prairie du Chien is playing Lacrosse Aquinas, which I believe is at UW Lacrosse. Did we see who won the toss?
I did not. I always miss that, and I always plan on watching it.
Okay, well, we'll hold off on that for a moment and tell you that in case, if there is a field goal, it will be sponsored tonight by Vondra Egg Service LLC. See Brady Vondra, your local Beck's Hybrids dealer in Platteville, to help reach your field goals. Got it? Tonight's game also brought to you by the Philback family of dealerships, home of a lifetime powertrain warranty. See their 7 brands in 4 locations: Highland, Boscobel, Richland Center, Prairie du Chien, and at Philback.com. Claire Bank, with their 8 locations in Southwest Wisconsin, probably supporting this area's high school sports teams. Claire Bank, where they say, we can do that. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Also brought to you by Hazy Service and Towing of Montfort, your trusted friend for service and towing. Hazy Service and Towing in Montfort, better equipped to better serve. And brought to you by TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch of Cobb and Platteville. Beautify your home with decorative colored mulch. When you think mulch, give Jim Drury the game a call at TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch of Cobb and Platteville. Tom tells us via note that River Ridge will receive to start, so we will tell you their lineup. Head coach, of course, is Wade Winkers, graduate of River Ridge, and played on that 97 team that got to state. We're going to have a treat for you at the half, by the way, about that, if that tech works. But we'll tell you that the starting quarterback tonight for River Ridge is Matthew Nice, 3 of 6 for 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions last year. He is 6'5", so he's the right size for a quarterback, although a little tall for an option quarterback, I guess. Andrew Nice is starting at running back. The halfbacks, Ricardo Burita and last year's split end, Braden Krubel. The receivers this year, Carter Copsey and Aiden Gage will start. And on the offensive line, Levi Worley, the left tackle, Owen Callahan, the left guard. Brody Kiley is the center, Eli Hamilton, the right guard, and Anthony Davis is the right tackle. Highland defense, let's see, Sam Talo and Bryce Nanke are the tackles, and the Bonkamps, Joseph and Jaden, are the ends. And we'll give you the rest in a moment here because it's time for kickoff with Highland kicking off. And here is the kick, and that begins things on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. And the kick taken by one of the upbacks, it looks like, and he gets up near the 30-yard line, which is where the first drive of the season will start.
That was Carter Copsey, I believe, number 9, that got that kickoff. He dropped it, but great field position for Ridge here to start their first possession of the year.
The flexbone offense, of course, or you probably should call it the Hoke bone because it was really the offense that was developed by John Hoke at Lancaster. Darlington runs the same thing. First down carry and nothing doing there. As the fullback, I believe that was, Andrew Nice, got stuffed immediately.
Well, great penetration by the Highland defensive line right off the bat. They have a couple of really good returning players. Line of scrimmage, whoever controls the line of scrimmage has always a leg up, I think, in football, Steve.
Yard loss makes it second down, 11 to go from the 29-yard line. Nice behind Nice. And then everybody else split in a quick pass on second down, and the pass is caught up across the 35 to the 38-yard line. And Braden Krubel, who, as mentioned, was their leading receiver last year, he is the left halfback this year, but he makes the first catch of the season. It'll be third down and short coming up.
Nice safe pass for Matthew Nice to kind of get the jitters out.
Third down and actually closer to 3 yards to go at the 37-yard line, far side hash mark. Nice comes in motion, and Burita actually comes in motion, then comes back. And a run play around the left side, and Highlands defense smokes that out. Maybe a yard gain, but it is going to be short of the first down.
When you talk about losses for River Ridge from graduation, you know, they had Logan Drone, who was a very physical quarterback who could run for short yardage here. And then they were followed up by 2 physical players, Cooley and Hamilton. They just don't have that this year. They're very young, you know, behind center and in the backfield. So let's see if they go for it here on fourth down. This is a gamble.
It is about 1.5 yards from the first down, just shy of the 39-yard line. Need to get to the 40. And a man comes in motion, and it is Nice up the middle. It looks like he has the first down. Andrew Nice needed 1.5 yards. It looks like he got 2 and a first down.
That was very risky. Going for it on fourth down on your own 40, but it pays off and the drive continues. You know, you're looking at that first game, Steve, quarterback play is huge, turnovers is huge, special teams is huge, and we got to throw in potentially the weather tonight.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. First and 10 at the 40-yard line, no score. Run around the right side and a gain to the 43-yard line for Burrito. And it will be second down and 7 yards to go. The rest of the defense, by the way, for Highland, the inside linebackers, Colton Frost and Blake Dax, Darren Laufenberg and Tyson Imhoff, the outside linebackers, Russ Krasinger, Dax Smelzer are the quarterbacks, and John Dreschmeyer is the safety. Second down, 7 yards to go from the River Ridge 43-yard line. No score, 8:48 remaining in the first quarter. And it's going to be a keeper for Matthew Dice across midfield and stretches forward, and 6'5" gets him the first down to the Highland 47-yard line, 10-yard run.
Some good blocking on the right side of River Ridge's line, running behind senior Anthony Davis, and Nice was able to stretch that out for a very nice gain. So River Ridge showing some good attacking the flanks here early on.
3 receivers go to the left, 1 to the right, and 1 running back for first and 10. And it will be Andrew Dice. And then actually I think it was kept by Matthew Nice. Nice fake there, but it ends up being a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, he did a nice job of pulling that ball out right away because the fullback had nothing, but Highland did a much better job collapsing on the quarterback than they did on the previous play.
Actually, it looks like they somehow gave him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage. That really looked like a 2-yard loss to me, but
let's see if they try to get the ball to Krubel on the outside here.
Second down, 10 yards to go from the Highland 47-yard line, and there's a swing pass, and down the far sideline, a catch down to the 41-yard line. It'll set up third down, about 3 yards to go on the pass to Braden Krubel. Again, he was a receiver last year and is now a halfback, but obviously a guy who can catch the football.
You got to get him the football. He's your returning, proven playmaker, and I would suspect that Highland will adjust how he is covered as the game goes on. He was given a lot of room there.
Just shy of the 40-yard line, third down, 3 yards to go for River Ridge with 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter and no score. Although technically nothing is a score, I guess. 2 receivers each side and 1 running back and a keeper for Matthew Nice. And looked like on second effort, he ends up getting the first down. He's across the 35 and down to the 33-yard line.
Yeah, missed tackle that time by Highland. I believe it was number 53, Jordan Baumkamp, who's a returner. And Matthew Nice is showing some, I wouldn't call it power, but slipperiness to sneak ahead and get some yards after contact. Doing a great job here early on.
Highland nothing, River Ridge nothing. 6:27 remaining first quarter. Today's game brought to you by Vondra Egg Service LLC, sponsoring any field goals made in the game. See Brady Vondra, your local Beck's Hybrids dealer in Platteville, to help you reach your field goals. 3 receivers to the right this time and 1 to the left on first and down. And Nice back to pass, throws it deep down the left sideline, right near the goal line. And was that ball caught?
That's
it was,
touchdown.
And it is a touchdown.
And I don't know how that ball got in there because he was double teamed, and I thought they had good coverage, but the safety coming over did not have really good ball awareness, and that might be a little bit of youth on Highland's side of the ball there. That was a pass. Maybe instead of trying to intercept it, he should have just knocked it down.
And so, wow, 33-yard touchdown. That is, by the way, our first Southwest Asphalt Sealing and Striping touchdown. Call Jeff for crack and asphalt sealing and striping needs. River Ridge will go for 2 to extend their 6-0 lead. And it looked like 2 guys were in motion there. Didn't matter because running around the right side and getting the score is Nice, and it is River Ridge 8, Highland nothing, with 6:06 remaining in the first quarter. Back in 60 seconds on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL.
How many plays, Steve?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 plays, 70 yards. I can't believe he caught that ball.
I can believe he caught it. I can't believe the Highland safety didn't knock it down. That was a beautiful pass. Remember to turn.
Oh, which?
You got to remember to turn that down.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Although I think it actually just picks it up from us. Well, we'll see. Yeah, 10 plays, 70 yards, 545. High school football presented by Wolf Construction and Myers Heating and Cooling on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. River Ridge leads Highland 8-0 with 6:06 remaining in the first quarter. 10 plays, 70 yards, 5 minutes and 45 seconds, including 1 fourth down conversion. And for that matter, a third down conversion as well. So far, River Ridge looks quite good. Here's the kickoff. Line drive and short, and fielded at the 15-yard line and returned up to the 28-yard line, which is where Highland will start. 1st and 10 with 6:01 remaining in the first quarter, and the Nutrition World starting lineups presented also by Nutrition World Health and Wellness. Quality selection and knowledge for optimal health and energy levels can be found at Nutrition World on South Water Street in Platteville. Highland also has a new quarterback, Cohen Healy, 4 for 13, 73 yards last year, and also a rusher. He is a senior. Colton Frost is the running back, Darren Laufenberg the H-back, and the first down carry is up as Healy keeps the ball up to the 30-yard line for a gain of 2 yards. Bryce Boland is one of the receivers. John Dreschmeyer and Dax Smelzer are the others. The offensive line, Sam Taylor at left tackle, Bryce Nanke at left guard, Blake Dax at center, Joseph Bonkamp at right guard, and Jaden Bonkamp at right tackle. 2nd down and 8 yards to go from the Highland 30-yard line, and Healy will pass and fires to the left side into traffic, and the pass incomplete at the River Ridge 40-yard line. One receiver down there, but 2 defensive backs down there.
Yeah, that was not a really good decision that he made to throw that. Threw that into double coverage. Maybe he thought that, well, Ridge threw into double coverage and they got a touchdown. Maybe it'll work for me too. But a long incompletion. So first 3rd and long of the day here, Steve.
Dreschmeyer was the intended receiver. We'll get you River Ridge's defense in a moment here. 3 receivers go to the right side and 1 to the left on 3rd and 8 from the Highland 30-yard line. And with a pistol, here's a run up the middle that's not going to get anywhere close to the first down. Frost up to the 31-yard line, and they needed to get to the 38.
Oh, great job by River Ridge, 3 and out. Get that ball back to that hot quarterback in your hot offense here. But be alert, first game, never know. Be alert for a fake.
Bennett Smith will be the punter. And 2 receivers, 2 returners back. And left-footed kick by Smith and a high and deep kick. And the ball is fielded back this direction, I should say. A big return to the 50 and knocked out of bounds. And that'll be a great return and put River Ridge at the Highland 48-yard line.
Well, great block by Braden Krubel to free up Gage, who has tremendous speed. You know,
Aiden Gage.
Yeah, Aiden Gage. You kind of worry about, okay, the first punt, are you going to catch it? But Highland on the first punt didn't cover it. Great job of setting up the wall by Ridge.
You did mention special teams earlier.
Special teams are huge.
1st and 10 for River Ridge at the Highland 48-yard line and going around the left side. Speaking of which, Gage, and the ball may have popped loose. He gets to the 46-yard line for a gain of 2.
And it will stay with Ridge. 2nd down, the officials are signaling.
2nd down, 8 yards to go.
Well, you know, I suspect you got to make adjustments. Highland is going to need to make an adjustment on that quarterback keep. They stopped the fullback pretty well, but they need to do a better job of stopping Matthew Nice from running. But, of course, if you put too much to the quarterback, that means the fullback is open. So we'll see how they play it.
2nd and 8 from the Highland 46-yard line, 8-0 River Ridge. Whoa. And a problem, a fumble all the way back to the Highland 40, to the River Ridge 48. Highland recovers it. Burita, I believe, River Ridge recovered it. But it'll be 3rd and long.
I think the quarterback and the center were looking at each other on that one, Steve. We don't have instant replay here, so it's kind of hard to tell. But that looked like to be a center quarterback exchange issue.
So 3rd down, back at the River Ridge 49-yard line. 3rd down, 13 yards to go. And tonight's game brought to you by West End Salvage of Lancaster. See Junkyard Joe Krantz of the West End Salvage team for recycling. West End Salvage handles construction and demolition waste to West End Salvage in Lancaster at a whistle, and we'll have a timeout. River Ridge will call its first timeout of the season with 3 minutes and 12 seconds left in the first quarter, and River Ridge with an 8-0 lead. We'll tell you that today's game brought to you by George's Small Engines LLC. George's sells and services the fine line of steel chainsaws and weed trimmers. George's Small Engines, 5 miles north of Highland on Highway 80. The Economy Feed Mill in Bloomington, Glen Haven, and Fenimore. Custom blends for your operation and more, saluting their own Levi Worley. And the Timberwolves, the Economy Feed Mill, Bloomington, Glen Haven, and Fenimore.
Big third down here. If you're River Ridge, I think you got to find a way to get Braden Krubel the ball, and maybe he can break a tackle. If you're Highland, you got to find a way to pressure the quarterback here. I suspect there's going to be a pass. How many do you bring? Do you bring 3? Do you bring 4? Do you blitz? So we'll see what happens. Big third down.
Third down and 13 back at the River Ridge 49-yard line. It'll be 3 receivers coming out to the right side. 1 running back and a receiver out to the left side. And Matthew Dice rolls to the right, looks, and throws short of the first down, fighting for the first down, and short as Burita makes the catch. Whether he got the first down or not, well, he's short. Actually, he's good and short by about 2 yards.
3 yards. Nice play by Matthew Nice, rolling right and throwing. It's close enough. If they went for it on their own 40, they'll go for it here.
And indeed, they go right to the line for 4th down and 3 yards to go. Gage went in motion and then went back to the right halfback position. And it's a run for Nice. And Nice barrels through and gets the first down. Andrew Dice down inside the 40.
Well, there you go. I think Highland was looking for the quarterback keep, and they didn't pay any attention to the fullback. And nice play by Ridge. That's 2 4th downs that they've converted tonight. But that third down was big. They were able to get it to within 4th and 3.
2:24 left in the first quarter. And River Ridge trying to add to their 8-0 lead. 1st and 10 at the 39. Ball pops loose and recovered back at the 38-yard line. Burita saves the second fumble of the game by River Ridge already, and that's one of the dangers, I guess, of the option offense, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that was a problem with the mesh between the 2 Nice brothers there. They'll be going home tonight and working on that exchange, until the wee hours of the morning. You're playing with fire, putting the ball on the ground, though.
Or it's your fault. No, it was your fault.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Second down, 13 yards to go. Back at the 42.5. Whistles all over. Stop play.
Legal procedure on Ridge.
The false start pushes them back to the 47-yard line and moves what was second and behind the sticks to second and farther behind the sticks.
Well, you've got 3 downs to get it. There's no reason not to go for it on 4th down here, so get 6 or 7 at a time.
Or even 4 at a time, I suppose, if you feel strong about it. Gage went in motion, and a run that doesn't get anything there for Ridge. Back to the 44-yard line. I think I misstated where the ball was previously. It will still be 3rd, and actually it's going to be 3rd and 18, I think, now.
About 20, almost 20. That was another center quarterback problem, which happens, young players. One thing concerning for Ridge here, Anthony Davis being looked at by the trainer. Looks like he maybe has a cut, and he's one of the most experienced guys on the line.
Inside a minute in the first quarter, River Ridge leading Highland 8-0, but it's 3rd down and 20 yards to go. And a run play around the right side down to the 37-yard line goes Burita, so they get some of the yardage back, but it will be 4th down and 13 yards to go. And maybe one more play left in this first quarter.
I would think it'd probably be a punt. 4th and 14, you hate to give Highland good field position here.
It would be very nervy to go to fake punt here with 20 seconds left.
I could think of a different word than nervy.
Well, let us see what happens here. And it is
Great punt.
A punt, and the punt will be downed near the 5-yard line with 5.4 seconds left in the first quarter.
Oh, that was a fast, I hate to say it, that was a fast first quarter, but first quarter goes to Ridge. 2 decent drives, a touchdown in one, pretty good movement the second one, great punt. Now let your defense go to work.
One more play, 5.4 seconds left in the first quarter, and Highland with the goal line breathing down its back. At the 5-yard line are the Cardinals. Everybody in the backfield lines up in the end zone in a run play that gets about a yard or 2 yards up to the 7-yard line. And that ends the first quarter. Our score, River Ridge 8, Highland nothing. And we'll be back with the second quarter after everybody runs down to the other side of the field. High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL.
Winning ticket number 321981. 321981. So what's your winnings at the concession stand?
Good job.
And if you pull up YouTube on your phone, you do have replay.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Sounds pretty good. High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling of Lancaster and Russell Law Offices on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. River Ridge leads Highland 8-0. Cardinals' second play of this drive starts at their 7-yard line. Highland moving left to right in quarter number 2. And a run play. Looks like they're just trying to bang it out of their own end of the ball, end of the field. Colton Frost got, a yard up to the 8.
I think eventually they're going to have to trust their new quarterback to put the ball up, Steve, because River Ridge is just absolutely shutting that inside run down. So unless Highland is trying to set them up for a play, that doesn't look like that's going anywhere tonight. You know, they had a couple of good runners, Dorota and McGuire, who combined for over 1,300 yards last year, and they are missing them here early on.
Third down and 7 yards to go from the Highland 8-yard line. And Healy, instead of run up the middle, of the ball pops loose up around the 12-yard line. Frost gets it back. And all that series really did is just get them out of their own end, but there will be a punt.
Young ball carriers, ball security could be an issue. A nice pop by the River Ridge defense and a fumble. They did try to do something there and try to get wide, but I think Highland's going to have to be able to throw the football to be successful tonight, and I don't know if they can.
So here's Bennett Smith's punt. Kind of a line drive, bouncing and rolling to a stop at the Highland 49-yard line. So good field position for the Timberwolves, already leading 8-0 with 10:31 remaining in the first quarter, first half that is. And today's game is brought to you by Community First Bank, serving you in Boscobel, Fenimore, Lancaster, Livingston, Muscoda, Platteville, and Prairie du Chien. First for you, member FDIC. Also brought to you by Anderson Weber Toyota in Dubuque, powering our audio stream. Anderson Weber Toyota, when you are ready. First and 10 for the Timberwolves from the 49. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, back to pass. Nice. And instead, it is a deep pass. It's going to be caught for a touchdown. Braden Krubel got loose on the near sideline and gets the score.
Well,
49 yards.
They threw just a little out past Brandon Davis, number 1, who is their backup quarterback, and he threw a strike to Krubel, who ran a crossing pattern all the way across the field, and the ball was perfectly delivered, and the big play.
One play, and suddenly it's 14-0 River Ridge, and the Timberwolves going for 2. They have rarely in their history had a kicker, and it'll be a run around the right side that will end up short, as Matthew Dice tried to run it in, but the run is short. So it is River Ridge 14, Highland nothing, with 10:23 remaining in the first half. And we're back after this on AM 1590 WPVL. Yeah. Severe thunderstorm warning for Joe Davies County. The broadcast got interrupted. Well, to demonstrate how things are sometimes going, when I'm announcing games, I have no idea what I have to do with this, but there is apparently we got interrupted by a severe thunderstorm warning for Joe Davies County. We are, of course, we're not able to hear the storm warnings, but you obviously are able to on all of the Queen Bee family of radio stations. We're kind of hoping that the rain holds off, but we're not sure that's going to happen. Anyway, River Ridge leads 14-0. Ball is fumbled on the kickoff and then picked up and going wide around the left side and all the way down the sidelines and then out of bounds. And Boland is able to get it, actually quite a good return, all the way down around midfield, or up around midfield.
Well, special teams can hurt you or special teams can help you. Highland's offense was in need of a spark, and Boland gave that to him. They fumbled the kick initially, and I think that caused contain on the far side by River Ridge to come in, and Boland used his speed to get to the sideline.
First and 10 at midfield, which is Highland's best field position by far of the day, and Healy passes on first down. The pass is caught over the middle, and a first down catch is made by Michael Esser, a sophomore. He actually, if I remember right, Tom, he played a lot for the basketball team as a freshman last year, did he not?
He's a very good basketball player, absolutely.
River Ridge, 36-yard line, first and 10, 9:48 remaining in the first half, 14-0 River Ridge, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 running back. In the pistol, the handoff to Frost, or actually a keeper, I think that was for Healy, and maybe a yard or 2 yards down to the 34-yard line.
I love that first down pass by Highland, but then on first down, right after the pass, they go back to the run. So, you know, it's a long year. You got to get your running game going, and they're trying to do that. But I do think they have to do something to loosen up the front seven of the River Ridge defense, who's doing a great job here so far.
Well, we have our first lightning delay of the night. We'll bring that to you on the shoebox scoreboard in a moment here. Second down, 8 yards to go. Play action pass. Healy throws over the middle, and the pass incomplete around the 20-yard line. And one of the River Ridge defenders is upset. Not quite sure why. The pass incomplete, so it's third down. On the Shoebox scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox and Black Earth, largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Darlington leads Platteville 12 to nothing. 11:49 left in the second quarter, and a lightning delay in Darlington. Also, where's the other one here? Bondwell leads Cuba City 12-0 after one quarter. That's on Super Hits 106.
There was holding on Highland on that last play, Steve, so it comes back, and it's now 2nd and 20. So now they're going to have to throw it.
2nd and 20 from the River Ridge 44-yard line. Receivers left and right. Well, they're not going to run it, or they're not going to throw it this time. It's Frost down, actually, basically just back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And it's going to be 3rd and 20. And today's game brought to you by Myers Heating and Cooling, servicing Southwest Wisconsin since 1999. Myers Heating and Cooling, where they say, don't worry, we got this. Also brought to you by Grant Regional Health Center's Ortho Team. Dr. Brad Binsfeld and Nate Stocco, PAC, provide exceptional care for sports-related injuries or non-sports injuries. Grant Regional Health Center, experience the difference. 3rd and 20 from the River Ridge 44-yard line. Healy to pass. Healy rolls around, running out of time, and he will go down back at midfield. Sacked back at the 50-yard line for a 6-yard loss.
Well, he initially had time to throw, Steve, but none of his receivers came back to him. They all kept running down the field, but you got to come back to the quarterback and give him a chance to throw you the ball, and eventually the River Ridge rush got to him.
Punt coming up with 7:50 remaining in the first half, and so far, River Ridge has looked great on offense and on defense. Bennett Smith to punt. Left-footed kick, and a good one. And this one will be fielded, and then a handoff. And running around the left side, and return to the 30-yard line by Braden Krubel.
You know what River Ridge has done a great job here so far, Steve, is getting the ball into the hands of their playmakers.
Krubel, in other words.
Krubel, yes. They are finding him, finding all sorts of ways to get him the ball. And Matthew Nice is very skilled. You know, you're always fortunate when your quarterback is one of your skilled guys, but they need to keep getting the ball to the guys who can make things happen. 1st
and 10 at the River Ridge 29-yard line. Timberwolves leading 14-0. They go right to left in quarter number 2, which you can see from YouTube. And a keeper for Nice up the middle, and he's across the 35 up to the 36-yard line.
Again, a great job. Highland tackled the fullback, but the fullback didn't have the ball, and Matthew Nice is downfield 8 yards. They're going to have to figure out a way to defend that mesh game. And I'm kind of surprised they haven't figured it out because they knew it was coming.
Also, actually, is the ball up to the 37-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 2 yards to go. Also on the Shoebox scoreboard, Southwestern East Dubuque in their world premiere as a co-op team leading Riverdale 8-0 after one quarter.
I think I'll see them next week.
I think you are correct. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. Run around. And actually a faked run, and then Nice keeps it, and maybe he should have handed it off that time because Nice ended up short of the 1st down. I think the guy that everybody thought had the ball would have gotten the 1st down.
Well, Burita came within a yard. And, you know, another thing River Ridge is doing well here, their backs, their quarterbacks, their fullbacks, they are all spinning and getting extra yardage. They're moving forward.
6:17 remaining in the first half. River Ridge leading Highland 14-0. 3rd down and a yard to go at the 38-yard line, and that may be a free 5 and a 1st down for Highland, as one of the guys on the right side of Highland's defense jumped, unless he was pulled off, which is actually apparently the case.
Yeah, that was the freshman Eli Hamilton who went to count too early.
So the false start. Instead of 3rd and 1, it's 3rd and 6 for the Timberwolves back at the 34-yard line, and that possibly ends up changing the play. And instead, it's a run up the middle and a 1st down all the way up to the 48-yard line. Braden Krubel with the ball and actually running like a fullback as far as where he came out of, but he gets first down.
Well, it was a little bit of an inside reverse that time, Steve. They faked to the fullback, faked to the first back, and then Krubel on the reverse was wide open in the middle. Somebody is doing a great job of blocking up front for River Ridge, and Krubel's doing a great job of cutting to get the first down.
1st and 10 at the 46. Run around the right side, this time of the whole pile of players. Gets up to the midfield stripe. Brian Burita actually was a little short of the first of the midfield stripe.
But again, he was hit pretty much at the line of scrimmage, and he was able to get 3 yards. There's a big difference between 2nd and 10 and 2nd and 7.
Second down, 7 yards to go. I have a question I can't answer on my text, so I won't say anything. 2nd and 7 from the 49-yard line. Run around the left side, and Krubel keeps it and gets to the Highland 46-yard line for a gain of 5, and they'll bring up 3rd down about 2. Unless his knee touched before that, back at the 47, so it'll be 3rd down at about 3 yards to go with 4:19 remaining until the Peterson Agency halftime report. Mountain City Bank's total line of credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop in at Mountain City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC to equal housing lender. Learn more at mountaincitybank.com. 3rd down, almost 4 yards to go. Inside run, 1st down, and spinning is Andrew Nice, and he gets the 1st down to the 38-yard line. Needed 4, got 8.
There was no deception there. That was just a handoff to the fullback, and he did not get touched until he was 5 yards downfield. So Highland's really having problems with River Ridge's inexperienced offensive line. Those kids are doing a great job.
Down to the 37-yard line, 1st and 10. Ridge leading Highland 14-0, 3:36 and counting in the first half. Burita headed to the backfield and then headed back to his left wing position. 2 receivers left and to the right, and a run up the middle for Andrew Nice. And he's across the 35 down to the 34-yard line, running straight up the middle. 2nd down and 7 yards to go. One more time. Don's Tire in Highland. Don's Tire is your neighborhood Goodyear Tire Center. Count on the trusted local pros at Don's Tire at the bottom of Main Street in Highland.
Great job by Ridge working the middle. Now let's see if they go outside.
2nd down, 7 yards to go. And a run up the middle, and Andrew Nice looks to be near the 1st down.
Oh, they moved the chains again. He was hit near the line of scrimmage, Steve, and he just kept going. So Highland missing tackles. Maybe their defense is getting a little tired here.
1st and 10 at the Highland 23-yard line. Run around the left side and a big pop there. And the run play ends up with a gain of 2 down to the 21-yard line.
Ridge has really taken a lot of time off the clock with their drives. Very methodical and executing well.
2nd down, pass by Nice to Burita, looks like, and he's down to the 17-yard line.
Those are just run plays, basically, but you just throw the ball out to the wing, and if the defensive backs are going to play 7 or 8 yards off, that's an easy game.
Minute 45 remaining in the first half. They are in the Bitech green zone, a Greener Way Bitech Resource Management of Monroe. 3rd down and a yard to go at the Highland 18-yard line. And that play gets stuffed right up the middle. Matthew Nice out of keeper. And we're going to have a timeout called by River Ridge. That is their second, or is it their first timeout?
I think it's their second timeout.
That leaves them with 1, because that much math I can do.
That's a huge fourth down play. If you go up 3 scores, the way the pace of this game, you're in pretty good shape if you're Ridge. So if you're Highland, you are trying to use anything here to get a stop so you can stay in the game.
River Lakes Resort for family-friendly camping, excellent fishing in the backwaters of the Mississippi. Get away at River Lakes Resort. Learn more at rolcamp.com. River Lakes Resort in Bagley. And are we starting to see some rain?
Yes, we are.
Okay, Sire T Auto Body, complete collision repair with PPG paint warranty, spray and bed liners, free pickup and delivery, and loaner cars too. Sire T's also handles your claim process. Call Eric at Sire T's in Bloomington, and brought to you by Les Mack Chevy Buick downtown, Les Mack Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram on Highway 61 North in Lancaster. Custom order your new vehicle today from Les Mack, where you always get more from less. 1:21 remaining in the first half. River Ridge trying to add to their 14-0 lead over Highland. It's 4th down and 1 yard to go in the Bitech green zone at the 18-yard line. And here's a pass to the left side, and the pass is caught. Gage gets it. And gets, gets the first down inside the 10 down to the 8.
Well, great execution again. Matthew Nice faked the fullback, came out on the option, and pitched it just at the right time.
And so it's 1st and goal. That's not a pass, obviously, in the option pitch. And Highland or River Ridge is going to have to call a timeout. Their last, which didn't make Wade Winkers too happy.
Hey, but it's okay. You got lots of time, 1:03 left. This is a big possession and chance to go up 3 scores and maybe turn out the lights. We'll see, because Highland has not showed the ability to move the football.
1:03 remaining first half. Doolittle's Pub and Eatery is open for lunch or dinner 11 until close. Tuesday through Saturday with delicious pizza starting at 4. The outdoor patio is now open also for the season. For your equipment, Doolittle's on the Square in Lancaster. Brought to you by Platteville Collision Center. Expert color matching, frame and unibody straightening and baked-on finishing to keep paint shining longer. Trust the repair people at Platteville Collision Center in Platteville. Of course it is. It says Platteville Collision Center, doesn't it? 1:03 remaining in the first half. Today's game also brought to you by Southwest Asphalt Sealing and Striping on East Mineral Street in Platteville. Call Jeff for crack at asphalt sealing and striping needs at Southwest Asphalt Sealing and Striping in Platteville. 1st and goal from the Highland 8-yard line. Run up the middle for Andrew Nice, and he's down to the 2-yard line.
And the clock's running, but they have a lot of time. I look for a pass here to Braden Krubel. He's not even being covered. There, somebody finally moves out.
2nd and goal from the 2, and a fumble. And the ball is loose, and it is picked up way back at the 6-yard line.
Now time is of the essence. They got to hurry. They got moved back. We're under 30 seconds, so probably a pass here.
3rd and goal from the 6, and Nice the pass to the left side, and incomplete out of the end zone. It was intended for Matthew. That was actually Matthew Nice was the receiver on the pass.
And Brandon Davis threw the pass. It's a pretty good pass. It was a fade to the corner, and he just missed him. So let's see if Ridge is going to kick or if they are going to go for it here.
One more play with 19.4 seconds left of the first half, and you have to think if they don't kick extra points, they're not going to kick a field goal, right?
That would make a lot of sense. So here we go.
Davis is the quarterback for 4th and goal, and somebody moved for Highland, didn't get it called, and the throw to the left side is caught for a touchdown. And it's Braden Krubel. Braden Krubel on the catch on the pass from Davis. And it is 20-0 with 16.8 seconds remaining in the first half. And they take it all the way from they take a 71-yard scoring drive. And now we'll try to add to their 20-0 lead. Matthew Nice back in at quarterback. Andrew Nice behind him. Beretta goes in motion. Fumble on the exchange. And they just sit on it. Matthew Nice does. That's the 4th fumble of the game, by the way.
I don't think they've lost one yet.
Right, they've recovered all of them. But that's a downside. But on the other hand, they're up 20-0 with 16.8 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, on that last touchdown play, good scheme by River Ridge. They had trips to the right and Krubel all alone to the left, and he just ran a quick slant right over the middle. He was being single covered, and I'll take Braden Krubel in that situation against a lot of people. And Davis delivered the ball perfectly. Krubel at the catch. Ridge with a 3-score lead here.
All right. 16.3 seconds remaining in the first half until the Peterson Agency halftime report. And as I said, we're going to have a special treat coming up at the half. We have some Jerry Usgard from 1997, the year the Timberwolves got to state. It's a snippet from the pregame show of their state semifinal game between River Ridge and Hilbert in Poinette. And game that River Ridge came from behind to win 21-10 to send Jerry Usgard to state for the first, and it turned out only time in his 34-year Hall of Fame career.
So if that is something that you like, roll tape.
Do you believe that was 25 years ago? That just occurred to me as I was driving here this afternoon.
There's a lot of things that I can't believe it's been 40 years, so 25 is nothing.
I don't even discuss 40. Kickoff will be from the left side of the left hash mark, the near side hash mark. And a very short kick, and it's fielded by an up back for Highland with now 15.2 seconds left of the first half. And it'll be just one more play.
Well, Highland has, I think, all 3 of their timeouts left. We'll see what Mike thinks of his offense here, if he just runs something into the line or if he throws deep and hopes for the best here.
Highland will get the ball to start the second half. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And Healy has Frost behind him, goes back to pass, and swings it out to the left side. And the pass is caught and going out of bounds. And that was Tyson Imhoff, I believe, second down.
It was a nice play, nice throw, 9 yards. 8 seconds left, probably only have time for one more play.
Ball is at the 44-yard line of River Ridge, and a throw to the left side and slipping there. And that is the ball was caught, and actually there will be one more play. Did the clock actually start there?
Yes, it did. Highland took a quick timeout.
5.1 seconds left in the first half. And Highland trying to figure out something before the half here.
Well, maybe they have here a little bit. Short passing game. They're moving the football as well as they've moved it all night. Really, the only time they have moved the ball, Steve, is through the air. Let's see if they try to go to the end zone here and hope for the best.
And they have loaner cars. RPM Automotive and Prairie du Chien, also brought to you by JFK Exterior. See John Klein for any and all exterior home maintenance, repair, or replacement. Call 608-732-0287. 608-733 Trucking LLC in Highland. Tomorrow we'll have more football. Benton Scales Mound Schallsburg heading to Fredonia to take on Ozaki. And we'll have that for you about 1:40 on 97.7 Country WGLR. At the 44-yard line, one more play, and Healy will fire it to the near side, deep to the 10-yard line, and the pass is out of bounds, incomplete, and that ends the first half. And the first half has gone about as well as possibly can be expected for River Ridge. The Timberwolves lead the Cardinals 20-0, and we'll be back after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
At this time, we would like to recognize Coach Bustard. Many of his former players are in attendance, and many more are enjoying the game at a gathering in Bloomington. Would any and all former players please join each other on the track next to the field? We would like to thank all of those that are in attendance for our last goodbye to Coach Bustard. We would like to read the sign.
Cooling of Lancaster and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. River Ridge leads Highland 20-0 at the half. Peterson Agency halftime report follows these messages on AM 1590 WPVL.
And in 2009, it was named after longtime football coach Jerry Bustard. As head coach of the Bloomington West Branch and River Ridge football teams for 34 years, Jerry Bustard consistently brought excitement to Bustard Field. He collected 8 conference titles, made 10 playoff appearances, and compiled 206 victories, and took us all on a very memorable trip to the state championship game in 1997. To top it all off, Coach Bustard was elected to the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame at the end of his glorious career. Coach Bustard and the field next after him will always be foundation pieces to the River Ridge football program. Although the site of the home games has changed, the impact that the field and Coach Bustard had will be remembered always. Players and friends of Coach Bustard are invited to join at Blue Jays Bar in Bloomington after the game to share stories about their time for Coach. We would like to thank Coach Bustard one final time for all his contributions to this program. Rest in peace, please.
Do you want posting stats or? As well? Okay. So I got a few stats here. Really all we need, I think.
High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling of Lancaster and Russell Law Offices on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. It is time for the Peterson Agency halftime report presented by the Peterson Agency in Argyle. Your independent agent, Brian Peterson, specializing in farm, home, auto, and umbrella policies. It's acting a little wonky right now, so I'm not positive if we're in commercial or on the air. I will assume we're on the air until somebody tells me otherwise. And before we talk about the half, let's catch you up on the Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. At half, Bondwell leads Cuba City 20-7. That is on Super Hits 106. Darlington leads Platteville 12-0 with 11 seconds into the second quarter with a lightning delay taking place, and that is on Extreme 107.1. Also, where's the other one here? After a quarter, Southwestern East Dubuque leading Riverdale 8-0. There is a lightning delay in Muscadet, so that is what's up with the games that we have.
Hey, didn't I tell you that the river and the hills would protect us here?
Yeah, so far it's just been raining a little bit. Whether or not that high school football presented High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling of Lancaster and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. I guess it answers my question. We were not on the air before, but now we are.
So the halftime report, take two.
Yes, it'll sound better this time, really. It is time for the Peterson Agency halftime report presented by the Peterson Agency in Argyle. Your independent agent, Brian Peterson, specializing in home, farm, auto, and umbrella policies. And as stated before, before we talk about the half of this game, let's talk about what's going on elsewhere on the Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, largest independent shoe store in the Midwest at half. Bondwell leading Cuba City 20-7. That is on Super Hits 106 up in Bondwell, which is near Shawano, for those of you who did not know that. Meanwhile, there is a lightning delay. Actually, there's more than one lightning delay, but we can tell you that Darlington is leading Platteville 12-0, 11 seconds into the second quarter, and that is on Extreme 107.1. For all I know, they're listening to us, or they might be listening to Cuba City and Bondwell possibly. Also, after a quarter, Southwestern East Dubuque leads Riverdale 8-0. There is also a lightning delay going on in Muscadet.
Yeah, and I got another one for you at halftime, and there's a lightning delay. It's Royal 36, Boscobel nothing.
And also Fenimore in the Milk Can game leading Iowa Grant 22-12. And that game is in the third quarter apparently without a lightning delay there possibly. La Crosse Aquinas leading Prairie du Chien at any rate. As far as this game goes, it has really been literally all River Ridge right from the start. The Timberwolves took the opening kickoff, got it to their 30-yard line and went 70 yards in 10 plays in 5 minutes and 45 seconds. It really set the tone for this game. They converted on a 4th and 2 at their own 38-yard line. They converted on a 3rd and 3 at the Highland 40-yard line for a first down. And then a pass from Matthew Nice to Braden Krubel, 33 yards for the touchdown, and then Nice ran it in for 2. 8-0 River Ridge with 6:06 remaining in the first quarter. I will be a little hesitant about reading this because I can't see it because we don't have lights. Wait a minute, we do have lights in here, right? Wow, now I'm hesitant because I'm blinded.
let there be light. I gave you light.
You did, and it is good. Next drive was one play, 49-yard touchdown pass from the other River Ridge quarterback, Brandon Davis, the freshman, throwing 49 yards to Krubel for his second touchdown of the day. The two-point run was short, 14-0 River Ridge 2, if you're a Ridge fan. 11, 12, 14 plays and 71 yards at a drive that took actually 6 minutes and 28 seconds. And it was Davis again throwing to Matthew Nice for the touchdown, or actually, correction, Krubel. He's got 3 touchdown catches today. This one's 6 yards. The run short again. But with 16.8 seconds left, the score made it 20-0. River Ridge leading Highland. Well, we told you we had a treat for you, and now that I've said this, I have to set it up. So we have Jerry Usgard, who was remembered tonight. He died back on May 7th, 80 years old. He is, of course, a Hall of Famer. 34 years between Bloomington, Iowa, Bloomington West Grant, and River Ridge. 8 conference championships, 2 trips as far as the state semifinal, and, of course, the state trip in 1997. What you are about to hear is Jerry Usgard in the pregame interview for the state semifinal game against Hilbert.
On the kickoff show with Jerry Usgard, the head football coach of the River Ridge Timberwolves, today to take on the Hilbert Wolves in his Division 6 state semifinal at Poinette. Coach, congratulations on the win over Cassville.
Thanks very much.
Any key point in that game? I mean, you folks had the lead the entire game, but was there any key point that you felt was instrumental to your victory?
Well, I thought right at the start of the game when we fumbled the punt and they got the ball deep in our territory and we held them. That, and then the other time was when they had a chance to score and they got down on the 5-yard line and they got a clipping penalty called on them. Those are the two momentum stoppers that they had, and I thought those helped us solidify the game for our favor.
What's the key to your pass rush against Cassville? I mean, is it just the size overwhelming Cassville in the front? I mean, because you put a lot of pressure on Kruger for the second time this year.
Right, and we played the pass first against them, so we were a little bit vulnerable against the run. But we set up in a 52 defense, and their first mode was to rush the passer, then play run second.
Cassville very much a finesse team, aren't they?
Right.
Let's talk.
Here they are.
Well, let's talk about River Ridge and the way this season has turned around. You know, it's interesting. I was talking to RJ, the fellow who does the color commentary on the ball game, and he was saying something about 18 turnovers over the first 7 games. And since then, you've really turned that around. What, did you just put some stick 'em on their hands, or what happened?
No, it's just a matter of making plays in critical points of the game at the end of the season and in the playoffs, where earlier in the year we were not. The other team was making the plays. And I think it's just a matter, we're still not we haven't had a lot of fumbles, but we have lost those that we have. And the biggest problem is we haven't created a lot of turnovers from the other team. And I think that's been the biggest difference in the playoffs and the last 5 games. We've been in a plus factor with turnovers, where we were minus before.
Let's talk about a Hilbert team that you're probably very familiar with, having played them once before in a state semifinal. Then it was Bloomington West Grant, but they have a new coach since then. But have they changed much since that time period?
Well, Mark Jonas, he was an assistant coach at Hilbert at that time. So they're running basically the same offense that they had and same defense that they had in '92. And they play in a pretty tough league. That's a Division 5. They have Division 5 and Division 4 teams in that league. So they play good competition. It'd be like playing, the small schedule, like teams like Mineral Point and so forth that qualified for Division 6.
Are they primarily?
I can't hear the commercials. That's interesting. But I can hear Johnny.
In Game 6.
Helpful if you turn up your own microphone. High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. You heard during the halftime Jerry Usgard, the longtime Bloomington West Grant and River Ridge coach, talking before the state semifinal game in Division 6 against where River Ridge beat Hilbert 21-10. We'll talk if we get a chance here about that game. It was a tremendous ball game, a great come from behind win. You may have heard on the pregame show, actually, Wade Winkers talking about that game and the key turnaround play in it. Highland will start with the ball in the second half, receiving the kickoff going left to right. And a good run back up across the 45 and falling forward across midfield. And Laufenberg will put the Cardinals in, well, not quite as good field position, right at midfield, but they have a big hill to climb, trailing 20-0.
Well, they rushed the ball 8 times in the first half for 6 yards. Steve, they either got to fix that run game, or maybe we saw a little preview, they'll start throwing the ball a little bit more.
1st and 10 from midfield. Receiver comes in motion and a run play up the middle through all that. Did the ball pop out? River Ridge seems to think it did. And it is recovered by the Timberwolves at the 46-yard line.
Well, so much for all those halftime adjustments, you know. That was a nice run. That was probably about their best run of the night, but they coughed it up. Probably is getting a little wet out there, I think, Steve. So, you know, if you're Highland, you had great field position. You probably wanted to get a score there, but you end up turning it over.
1st and 10 at the River Ridge 46. Timberwolves leading 20-0. Some confusion there from the guys in motion, and Nice will have to run with it and gets across the 50 and down to the 47-yard line. They had one guy who started and then stopped, and then another guy started and stopped, and then Nice, whatever that play was, I don't think that's how it was drawn up.
Well, unless you're playing Canadian Football League rules, you can't have 2 guys in motion at once, so that's coming back. A couple other stats dominated by River Ridge, 10 first downs to 2 for Highland. River Ridge had 90 yards rushing and 26 carries. Passing, Highland was 3 for 5 for 29 yards. Ridge, 7 for 8, 119 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
About the only thing that went wrong was the 4 fumbles, but River Ridge recovered all 4 of them. 1st and 15 back at the 41. Running up the middle. Andrew Dice gets to the 43-yard line for a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 coming up. Today's game brought to you by the Philback family of dealerships, home with a lifetime powertrain warranty. See their 7 brands at 4 locations: Highland Basketball, Richland Center, Prairie du Chien, and at Philback.com. Also brought to you by Claire Bank, with their 8 locations in southwest Wisconsin, proudly supporting this area's high school sports teams. Claire Bank, where they say we can do that, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. 2nd and 8 for River Ridge from their 43-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Nyes rolls right and throws right and manages to get it completed. I believe it is actually through the hands of the receiver, and I say because I just saw some lightning.
There's a lot of lightning to our east. I don't know how we missed that, but
there it is.
Yeah, it's quite a ways away, but you can see it. It's not coming our way, I don't believe. But now you can see the rain and the lights up there, which you couldn't see before. It's raining pretty good.
So the pass incomplete. 3rd down, 8 yards to go at the River Ridge 43-yard line. 2 receivers on each side. And Nice will swing it out to the right. Caught by Krubel, and Krubel gets near the 1st down, spun down at the 44-yard line, which will make him a yard shy.
Well, you know, there's one guy you have to stop, and that's Braden Krubel, and they've not been able to do that. I can't say anything. Last year in a tournament game, we were playing defense, and somebody scored 40 points against us. So sometimes guys are just hard to stop.
They will go for it. Actually, it's more like 4th and 3. And a run up the middle. That'll be a 1st down to the 35-yard line. And Braden Krubel, who caught the ball before, now runs it for a 1st down. And you can see why it is that they moved him to halfback, but clearly he's going to be the focus guy on the offense, at least early on. Well, down to the 37.
I think he'll be a focus guy all year long. He's very dynamic.
9:40 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And River Ridge leading Highland 20-0. And going down is he rolls to the left side. Matthew Nice goes down at the 45-yard line, and that's a big loss there, 12 yards. Actually, 8 yards, proving again that I'm not a math major. 2nd and 18.
That play was blown up a little bit. There was some penetration which threw the timing of the pitch off, and by the time Krubel caught the ball, Highland was there. That was one of their best defensive plays of the night.
2nd down, 18 back at the, well, they spotted it actually up at the 42-yard line. And back to pass nice, throws to the left side into traffic, and that's broken up at the 20-yard line. And that was Carter Copsey on the attempt. He was double covered. It'll be 3rd down and 17. Today's game is brought to you by Hazy Service and Towing in Montfort, your trusted friend for service and towing. Hazy Service and Towing Montfort, better equipped to better serve. 3rd and long with 8:50 remaining in the 3rd. River Ridge leading Highland 20-0. And a counter play. Flag goes down to the 35-yard line is Burita, but this is going to go back, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a hold. I'm not going to say the number, but there was a River Ridge lineman laying on a Highland lineman, and I think that's what the call was. That's where the flag was thrown. Really nice play there, though, Steve.
Today's game brought to you by TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch, Cobb and Platteville. Beautify your home with decorative colored mulch. When you think mulch, give Jim Drury and the gang a call at TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch, Cobb and Platteville. I'm still seeing lightning. Maybe the fact it's east of us is why the officials don't notice it. 4th and 12 and a punt coming up for Brady Bungie. One returner back, and Bungie's punt will be fielded.
Perfect.
And go out of bounds, actually, near the 10-yard line. That went about as well as possible. Again, everything seems to be going basically right for River Ridge in this game. Timberwolves leading 20-0.
That was Braden Krubel who punted that, Steve, and boy, what great touch there.
So Highland will be once again staring poor field position, or having poor field position, field position staring at them from the 7-yard line.
Well, I think field position doesn't matter here. They need to get something going on offense. It doesn't matter where they are on the field.
1st and 10 from the 7-yard line. One running back. Everybody else is out wide, right around the left side for Colton Frost. Frost goes out of bounds. And actually, Boland ends up getting the ball. And that ends up.
There's an injury for Highland. Well, maybe this is our first cramp of the night, Steve. I can't tell.
Well, we will have an official timeout. It'll be 2nd and 12 after the 2-yard loss. Back to the 5-yard line.
That was a cool thing you did at halftime, playing that pregame interview. That's a very historic game for this school. Where did you come up with that?
Well, actually, R.J. Osterhaus, whose brother played on that game, and R.J. is, of course, a River Ridge graduate, played for Jerry Usgard. And he was able to find his tape when nobody else was able to find their tape. There are a lot of tapes. I have one of them. I have no idea where it is. But, yeah, it was a really cool experience. Today's game brought to you by Vondra Egg Service, sponsoring any field goals made in the game. See Brett Vondra, your local Beck's Hybrids dealer in Platteville, to help you reach your field goals. Also brought to you by West End Salvage in Lancaster. See Junkyard Joe Krantz and the West End Salvage team for recycling. West End Salvage handles construction and demolition waste to West End Salvage in Lancaster. Brought to you by George's Small Engines, LLC. George's Sells and Services, the fine line of steel chainsaws and weed trimmers. George's Small Engines, 5 miles north of Highland on Highway 80. And brought to you by the Economy Feed Mill of Bloomington, Glen Haven, and Fenimore. Custom blends for your operation and more. Saluting their own, Levi Worley And the Timberwolves, the Academy Feed Mill, Bloomington, Glen Haven, and Fenimore.
I think that was a cramp on the far side. That was Bryce Boland, who carried the ball on the reverse. He seems to be walking okay, and that's good news for Highland fans and for Bryce.
The Shoebox Scoreboard presented by the Shoebox and Black Earth, largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. We'll get to that in just a moment here. It's 2nd and 12 for Highland from the 5-yard line. Healy throws over the middle, and the pass incomplete. Dreschmeyer was the intended receiver, and it will be 3rd and 12, and it is still a lightning delay in Darlington, with Darlington leading Platteville 11 seconds into the second quarter, 12-0. And the update is that the game is expected to resume about 8:30, and that is on Extreme 107.1. Meanwhile, 3rd and 12 from the Highland 5-yard line, and Healy to pass from his end zone, fires to the right side, and a diving attempt at an interception. Did he catch it? And apparently he did get the interception, and it is picked off
by Aiden Gage. I'm not sure who they were throwing to on that play. Aiden Gage was the only guy there, and he made a great diving catch. And River Ridge now with the ball inside the green zone, the 15-yard line, going for the kill shot.
The Bitech Green Zone, a greener way, Bitech Resource Management of Monroe. River Ridge leading Highland 20-0 and adding to the lead. 1st and 10, and it's Andrew Nice and a pile of purple Timberwolves and white-clad Cardinals for a short gain down to the 13-yard line.
Boy, Highland is really missing Max Olson, who was their quarterback last year. 1,400 yards he threw for, 22 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He was a great player, and, it takes some time to replace experience like that.
2nd down, 8 yards to go at the 13. And a run up the middle is down inside the 10. And at the bottom of the pile is Burrito. 3rd down coming up. And a good run there, actually, down to the 7-yard line. It'll be 3rd down, 2 yards to go. 7 yards for Burrito.
River Ridge's offense doesn't look much different than it looked last year. Different names, but still very effective.
3rd down and 2 from the Highland 7-yard line. And a run around the left side. Krubel. And it is right at the 1st down marker.
Yeah, I think they said 1st down. So 4 cracks here inside the 5 to make it a 4-score game.
1st and goal for River Ridge. And it's actually spotted down at the 3-yard line. 6:17 remaining in the 3rd quarter. River Ridge trying to add to their 20-0 lead. Burrito goes in motion. Whistles stop the play. Andrew Nice was going to run it.
It's procedure against Ridge. I didn't see anybody move, but somebody must have.
Bondwell leading Cuba City 27-7, 10-14 left in the 3rd. That game on Super Hits 106.
Speaking of teams that lost a lot of senior talent, Cuba City.
Oh, yes. 8 instead. Burrito again goes in motion. Nice gets the ball. And a pile gets down to the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from there. Fenimore, Lancaster, Livingston, Muscadet, Platteville, and Prairie du Chien. First for you, member FDIC. Our audio stream powered by Anderson Weber Toyota in Dubuque. Anderson Weber Toyota when you are ready. 2nd and goal from the Highland 5-yard line. Burrito goes in motion, gets the ball, cuts it up inside, and will be short of the goal line. About a 1 yard, maybe closer to 2. It'll be 3rd and goal from about the 3.
Well, for those who care, the last score I have is Green Bay 13, New Orleans 3 in the second quarter.
And that's on 97.7 Country WGLR.
On the Shoebox scoreboard.
Presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. 3rd and goal from the 3. Right off the left side. Be 4th down, and they might as well go for it. You know they will. 4th and goal from the 1.
Absolutely.
Actually, it's maybe the 1.5 yards. Or is that the 1.5 yard line?
And if you don't get it, Highland has a long ways to go.
Even longer than their last drive. 4th down, 1.5 to the end zone. And it's going to be nice keeping it around the left side. And he's in for the touchdown.
Well, another missed tackle by Highland. They had him behind the line of scrimmage, but Matthew Nice, very slippery tonight, on a wet night, scores the 4th touchdown for River Ridge.
That is an 8-play, 15-yard scoring drive that took 4 minutes and 3 seconds after the interception. So the Timberwolves turned a turnover into 6, lead 26-0, pending the 2-point run, or it could be a pass. It will not be a kick. Don't think we'll see a drop kick here either. And it is Andrew Nice. And he is not in. So it's 26-0. River Ridge leading Highland with 3:51 left in the 3rd. Back after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
In game 7.
Okay, so I can hear Johnny. I cannot hear commercial. A little bit of
In game 7.
high school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. Once again, it's helpful to actually turn up the microphone. You know, it's my first game. But, you know, the difference between the Packers and this game, and for that matter, college games, is in high school and college, they all count. There are no preseason games.
That's exactly right. You never know what this game might mean when it comes to seeding.
And in the old days, of course, in the days of the 9-team Six Rivers, you started playing conference games right off the bat, which had to be kind of an interesting experience. Here's a high short kick, and the ball will be returned up to close to the 40-yard line. And it was Dax Smelzer. Kind of interesting. Highland's got a Dax Smelzer, and they've got a Blake Dax on the same team. So they have a guy with a kind of a unique first name, and it's the same last name as one of his teammates.
Probably have known each other their whole life, so for them, it probably is nothing. Well, if you're Highland, Steve, I think what you want to do here, you're probably not going to win the game. You never know. But you want to start building to being a better football team and see if you can leave this game with some momentum and something positive.
3:45 left in the 3rd, 26-0 River Ridge. And they're going to try to establish some run around the left side up to the 46-yard line for Colton Frost. Gain of 5. 2nd down, 5 yards to go. Today's game brought to you by Grant Regional Health Center's Ortho Team. Dr. Brad Binsfeld and Nate Stocco, PAC, provide exceptional care for sports-related injuries. Grant Regional Health Center, experience the difference. 2nd down and 5 yards to go. closer to 4 from the Highland 46.5. Spin move by Healy, throws it to the right side, and the pass incomplete. Bolins was the intended receiver.
Good to see him back in the game after the leg cramps. That play had very little chance of succeeding. A roll to the right, very tight window, and good coverage from Burita made that basically a throwaway. So here's a big third down.
Third and about 4.5 from just outside the 46. Today's game brought to you by Don's Tire at Highland. Don's Tire is your neighborhood Goodyear Tire Center. Kind of the trusted local pros at Don's Tire, the bottom of Main Street in Highland. Healy will pass, throws just past the intended receiver. And that was Bolins again, that time also incomplete. Fourth down, and what do you do here? 4th and 5 almost.
Well, I don't know. I think most teams would punt, but I could see them going for it to try to establish something on offense. They had a nice run on first down and then 2 incomplete passes. So they're going to punt, I guess, and that's probably the right thing to do.
And probably what they'd like to do is get a good defensive performance. I believe River Ridge has only punted once in this game. Ball was dropped by Smith, then he picks it up and punts it. And trying to go wide and going down inside the 20-yard line. And still down is Braden Krubel, although he gets up now.
That's about the first time that Braden has had the ball in his hands that Highland was able to contain him of the game, Steve.
I would say he is the front runner in that. We'll bring that to you at the end of the game. Brought to you by West End Salvage. 1st and 10 for River Ridge. Going right to left in their home purple jerseys. And I believe we will take a timeout with 2:46 left in the third. River Ridge leading Highland 26-0 on AM 1590 WPVL.
In game 8, what can't West End Salvage get rid of?
That creepy guy in the next cubicle?
And now we can't jump or find out.
Sorry, I can't help you get rid of that.
It's got nothing to do with my end.
All right. Two group of spots left. We'll burn one after the quarter.
In game 8.
3:48 remaining. One more time. 2:46 remaining. Can't read my own handwriting. 1st and 10 for River Ridge at the 18. Andrew Nice is up to the 27-yard line for a gain of 9. That was a good run there by Nice. 2nd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, nice balanced offense tonight by River Ridge, both rushing and passing. And all they have to do to finish this game off is not turn it over.
They fumbled the ball 4 times, but held on to all of the fumbles. And a run up the middle for Nice at a first down. Andrew Nice. He is up to the 30-yard line.
And I think we have our second leg cramp of the night.
And so the clock stopped with 2:13 remaining in the third. And River Ridge leading Highland 26-0. And today's game brought to you by Mound City Bank. Their total line of credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop in at Mound City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Learn more at moundcitybank.com. Also brought to you by River of Lakes Resort for family-friendly camping and excellent fishing in the backwaters of the Mississippi. Get away to River of Lakes Resort. Learn more at rolcamp.com. River of Lakes Resort in Bagley. And brought to you by Sire T Auto Body. Complete collision repair with PPG paint warranty, spray and bed liners, free pickup and delivery, and loaner cars too. Sire T's also handles your claim process. Call Eric at Sire T's in Bloomington. 1:56 remaining in the third. The clock starts again. 1st and 10 from the River Ridge 30-yard line after the injury timeout. And Matthew Nice to pass and throws to the left side. Pass caught at the 35 and jumping up to make the catch, Braden Krubel, the one from Davis.
Yeah, now Matthew Nice has looked very good quarterbacking. He quarterbacked the team last year at Highland, filling in for Logan Drone. So, you know, he had some experience coming into the season. He's looked really good tonight.
The shoebox scoreboard, Bondwell leading Cuba City 30. And a fumble, that's the number 5 fumble of the game, but it is recovered by River Ridge, but all the way back at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to have to clean that up because they won't. You're fortunate if you fumble 5 times and you don't lose the ball. You know, on a different night, a different bounce, it could be different. Another shoebox scoreboard update. Potosi Cassville 34, Seneca 6 at halftime.
That is at Potosi High School, of course. Back to the 23. 3rd down, 17 yards to go with 23 seconds left in the third. Receiver out to the left side, 3 to the right. Nice rolls to the right, throws deep, and the pass is caught. And it's going to be a deep first down, all the way down around the 30, actually toward the 20-yard line.
That was Braden Krubel again. I just don't know how you can let a guy run through your secondary and get behind you. He just is out athleticing them. Is that the right word?
To athlete, is that a verb?
I don't know, but he is just running by them. They cannot cover him. That was a great throw by Matthew Nice. He had a rusher bearing down on him, and he rolled right and heaved that ball, 50 yards in the air, Steve?
Pretty close to that. 1st and 10 at the Highland 24-yard line with 4.9 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And one of those double handoff things in a run play for not much. And that was Gage, the last guy with the ball. And that brings to an end quarter number 3. And our score heading to the fourth. Highland, River Ridge 26, Highland nothing on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL. High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling and Osterhaus, making us behave in here. 26-0. River Ridge leading Highland. 2nd and 6 for the Timberwolves at the Highland 17-yard line, moving left to right to start the fourth quarter and going wide down the sidelines is Krubel down inside the 10-yard line.
That was Aiden Gage, who just flew down that sideline. Highland did not contain him, and he just ran into the green zone very quick-like.
And it'll be first and goal from the 6.
He's a weapon. Those feet are a weapon.
Well, this team seems to have more team speed, I think, than maybe
Yes.
people thought was going to be the case this year. River Ridge trying to add to their 26-0 lead. First and goal from the Highland 6. Nice goes up the middle and is introduced to the middle of the defense. And a short gain, a second and goal. Although he got half the way there, he's down to the 3-yard line.
Second goal for the Wolves from the 3-yard line.
As mentioned, Platteville and Darlington about to restart. They're early in the second quarter with Darlington leading 12-0. That's on Extreme 107.1. Also, late in the third, it's 34-7. Bondwell leading Cuba City, and that's on Super Hits 106. Second and goal from the 3. And it's Andrew Nice up the middle. Correction, Breda the ball carrier.
Yeah, I think
28.
I think Andrew Nice is out. He had a cramp, so I think they're holding him out. Packers 13-10 at halftime for anybody who cares. And the Royal basketball game has been called Royal 36, basketball nothing.
Brewers lost to the Cubs today 8-7. They play again tomorrow here on AM 1590 WPVL and Sunday here at AM 1590 WPVL. Also, we'll have Benton Seals, Mount Schellsburg, and Ozaki. 1:40 start Saturday afternoon on 97.7 Country WGLR. Third and goal from the 2. And movement all over, which will make it third and goal from the 7, I think.
I think they signaled delay of game. Ridge trying to take their time here and running plays, running down the clock.
Well, they're both 5-yard penalties. And so in this case, it'll be third and goal from the 7-yard line. 10:16 remaining. They will not go to running time because it's only 26-0.
Yep.
And there's not a 4-point play, 3-point play. In football, of course, as an extra point. Here is a keeper for Matthew Nice, and he's not going to get to the end zone. He is taken down before he's able to go upfield.
Well,
or downfield, if you will, back to the 4.
If they wanted to work on their field goal kicking, he did a nice job getting the ball right in the middle of the field, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Fourth and goal from the 4. That's a nice breeze outside now. That did not exist earlier when it was very humid out.
Yeah, it's still raining just a little bit, but not too bad.
And the Lightning, well, didn't seem to count. We're playing everything here. So fourth and goal from the 4. And the throw to the end zone through the hands of the intended receiver. That was intended for Krubel, went right through his hands. The timing was a little bit off, and so Highland gets a stop.
Well, good job by the Highland defense, not giving up. Would have been very easy to let Ridge score there, so maybe that's a positive that you can build on. And, you know, they have some time here. Maybe their offense can move the ball a little bit, and they can gain some momentum going into next week's game.
Well, those storms that we kind of saw the Lightning for must have gotten worse when they got to Muscoda, because Southwestern, East Dubuque, and Riverdale has now been postponed. That game will be finished tomorrow, from what we were told. Meanwhile, Highland takes over, trailing 26-0, 9:28 left from the 4-yard line. And a pass incomplete.
I think they were trying to hit Esser on a deep pass, but he was pretty well covered.
The pass game has really not worked at all for Highland.
Well, you know,
it's kind of surprising.
It did. Right at the end of the first half, they hit a couple of nice short passes. I thought they might come back and do that again, but, you know, the very first play out of the half, they had a nice running play and fumbled, and that was it.
2nd and 10 from the 4-yard line, one running back next to Healy. And getting the ball, Colton Frost. And then a deep pass, and the pass is caught. And a fumble, but after the play, there's a nice play action pass. And it is Bolin getting it, and is all the way down. That was a great, fooled the announcer, obviously. And the pass to Bolin for a first down, all the way down to the 37-yard line of River Ridge, as they try to get something on the scoreboard, more than a 0, 26-0.
Yeah, it's
River Ridge.
It's a long season, and you know,
one receiver left, 3 to the right, and a keeper for Healy. And Healy is thrown down back at the 39-yard line. So that'll be a 2-yard loss for Healy. 2nd and 12 coming up.
I was going to say before the play took off, it's a long season. This is just game 1. You know, you want to try to find something that you can build on. Looks like a holding call is going to move him back.
1st and 20 back at the River Ridge 47-yard line. 8:56 left. Actually, almost to the 46. Today's game brought to you by the Philback family of dealerships, home with a lifetime powertrain warranty. See their 7 brands at 4 locations: Highland, Basketball, Richland Center, Prairie du Chien, and at Philback.com. And they may have gotten 5 back there.
No, I think there was motion in the Highland backfield, Steve.
Well, that would be why the River Ridge left end went over, it looks like, then. So the illegal procedure will make it 1st and 25 and push Highland back to their side of the field at the 48.
No, you were right. They are going to assess the penalty against River Ridge for encroachment.
So instead of 1st and 20, it's 1st and 15 at the 42. And Healy will pass and throws deep down the right side, and a sliding catch attempt made, incomplete.
Oh, that was a beautiful pass by Healy. I thought that was the best pass of the night. That ball, I think if you ask Bryce Boland, should he have caught that, he'd say yes. He just ran a deep slant, and Healy hit him right in the hands.
2nd and 15 from the 42. 8:20 remaining. Today's game brought to you by Clare Bank, with 8 locations in Southwest Wisconsin, proudly supporting this area's high school sports teams. Clare Bank, where they say we can do that. Member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. A pitch around the left side goes Frost, and Frost down near the 35-yard line. Gain of about 6 or 7 will make it 3rd down and 9 yards to go, and what is the rest of the game is basically 4-down territory. Today's game brought to you by Hazy Service and Towing of Montfort, your trusted friend for service and towing. Hazy Service and Towing in Montfort, better equipped to better serve. 7:45 left. 26-0 River Ridge lead. Highlands trying to get something on the scoreboard here. Back to pass is Healy. Throws to the right side and through the hands of the intended receiver, Dreschmeyer, I think that was. And it'll be 4th and 9.
Well, that's another pass that should have been caught. Healy put the ball right on the money. And, those are things that will improve in the second game. You know, they always say that football teams improve the most between game 1 and game 2. You know, those passes that were missed tonight will probably be completed next week.
Highland next week will be going to Orfordville Parkview Albany, which did not win a game last season. 4th and 9 at the 36. Faked run to the left by Healy, and then he throws, and the pass is incomplete about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, he just threw that one up, and it was almost complete. I think that was Boland that came across. There were 2 River Ridge players there, 2 Highland players there, and
River Ridge will take over first and 10 from their own 36-yard line.
And so River Ridge takes over, leading 26-0. 7:26 remaining in week number 1, except we do have one more game coming up, and that'll be Benton Scales Mount Shalsburg at Ozaki tomorrow at 1:40 on 97.7 Country WGLR. 1st and 10, and the first run play up the middle.
Brandon Davis is now in at quarterback for River Ridge. Steve, good opportunity to give him some experience here.
Well, he threw a touchdown pass. He's thrown actually a couple of passes in this game. Of course, one of the touchdown passes was to Matthew Nice.
It's different, though, being behind center.
Oh, yes, absolutely. 2nd down, 8 yards to go from the 38. Just running the offense, basically, and a run play that gets stacked up at the line of scrimmage, possibly a yard gain. To about the 39. And that is Brock Bungie making his first carry of the day.
And that's, another thing here. You have a chance to kind of develop your depth a little bit. Brock Bungie, a freshman.
And that was kind of a question mark in this game. In fact, if you looked at the 2 deep, there were a lot of holes in it. Didn't know who the backup guys were, but the front guys certainly have been going well. Gage runs around the left side on 3rd and 7 and goes down hard. Did not get back to the line of scrimmage.
I thought I saw a penalty flag. It's probably a block in the back.
Well, while we figure that out, today's game brought to you by TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch of Cobb and Platteville. Beautify your home with decorative colored mulch. When you think mulch, give Jim Drury and the gang a call at TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch, Cobb and Platteville. Also brought to you by Vondra Egg Service LLC, sponsoring any field goals made in the game. See Brady Vondra, your local Beck's Hybrids dealer in Platteville, to help you reach your field goals. The penalty was declined following the 3-yard loss, and so we will see a rare thing in this game, a punt, at least for a rare thing for the Timberwolves, and the ball will bounce, and the ball will be covered around the 20-yard line.
I want to compliment both teams. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. I've not seen any major special teams malfunctions.
No.
Snaps are getting there. The coverage is good. We've had a couple of decent returns.
Yeah, there's actually been, you mentioned it before the game, the importance of special teams early in the season, and they've worked out pretty well. Highland hasn't hurt itself. That's not why they're down 26-0, certainly. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the 36-yard line. One more time, 26-yard line. It's early for me, too. 1st down pass, and the pass caught up near the 25-yard line.
That was Tyson Imhoff, 5'10", 140-pound sophomore. And again, trying to get your quarterback comfortable, just running the offense. You want to get a few plays that you can do well. I mean, I remember coaching a JV team years ago in basketball. We just started by, let's make sure we get back on defense, and then you go from there.
2nd and 9 from the 23, and Healy's going to air it out deep, and the pass is through the hands of the intended receiver. Now, that would have been 6 if he had been able to get to it. Ball into the intended receiver.
Hey, I'm telling you, for you Highland fans who are still with us, their quarterback, Healy, has looked pretty good here in the second half, Steve. I mean, his receivers are not helping him at all. That should have been a 75-yard touchdown pass.
3rd and 9 from the 23. 4:40 remaining, 26-0 River Ridge. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ely out of the pistol as they've been the whole game. Throws to the right side. And the pass is incomplete. Boland, the intended receiver again. That was just a misconnection there.
Yeah, that would have been a tough catch. He got one hand on it, but that was it. That throw was just a little bit off.
So 4th and 9. And today's game brought to you by West End Salvage of Lancaster. See Junkyard Joe Cranston, the West End Salvage team. For recycling, West End Salvage handles construction and demolition waste to West End Salvage in Lancaster. Also brought to you by George's Small Engines, LLC. George's sells and services the fine line of steel chainsaws and weed trimmers. George's Small Engines, 5 miles north of Highland on Highway 80. The punt, which was almost blocked, and it'll be a keeper around the right side and running out of bounds is Krubel around the 40-yard line of River Ridge. Just looking to finish this out, and their first win of the season. River Ridge leading 26-0. And we assume Davis will be back in at quarterback.
Yeah, Matthew Nice is on the sideline here. Big number 2.
Just shy of the 40-yard line.
See if we can finish this game before the weather moves in.
Is there more weather moving in?
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't checked. Okay.
Just in case.
Yes. Also, don't get anybody hurt, obviously.
Yeah.
1st and 10, run play up the middle to the 41-yard line. And that is a new ball carrier, I think. Oops.
Well, this was scripted pretty good. A little more lightning again coming in just to the southeast. So hopefully it'll stay away from us. I would say the only thing that River Ridge needs to do is take care of the fumbles.
5 of them in the game, but somewhat amazingly, all of them were retained by the Timberwolves. That's not something you can probably predict happening, of course. Run around the left side, and Bungie down to the 40-yard line, down at the 40-yard line.
Let's see if he lets Brandon Davis throw the football here.
3:12 left. If they would have a lightning delay at this point, they're not going to finish. There's no reason to finish. We know what the result is going to end up as.
Yeah, this game would be called like it was called up in Royal tonight.
With Royal beating Boscobel tonight, we'll have that and other scores on the shoebox scoreboard during the Culver's cool down, which we will have in approximately 2 minutes and 48 seconds. 3rd and 8, another run up the middle, and Bungie again this time gets toward the 45-yard line, but it'll be 4th down and punting time.
Coach Winkers is very cognizant of not wanting to rub anybody's nose in it, Steve. I've seen him, his team could have gone into the end zone. They take a knee. I'm thinking they may have called it here at the Lightning, Steve.
Yeah, with 2:30 left and the teams are leaving the field. That's a lot of lightning, actually. It's in the clouds. No bolts, but we are done with the ball game. And the final score is River Ridge 26, Highland nothing. The game is called with 2:30 remaining. And so the first win of the season for the Timberwolves, who will go to Wazeeka, Steuben, Seneca for an interesting game next Friday night. And Highland will go to Orfordville, Parkview, Albany next Friday night. 26-0 our final. River Ridge beats Highland, and we'll be back after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
In Game 10, here at ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, we love giving you the best in local, state, and national sports coverage, plus prizes if you participate in any of our giveaways and contests. Remember, contests are generally with U.S. residents, 18 years or older, designed for terrestrial listening. Restrictions may apply. Plan must work for athletes who must for promotional benefits, employees, agents, and affiliates of the state. Within your community, contest sponsors, other radio, television, and print advertising companies are ineligible to bid. Restrictions apply. No purchase necessary. All entries completed or blank Any and all materials pertaining to a contest are profit. Queen Bee Radio. Prize winners have 30 days to pick up their prize at Queen Bee Radio offices. 51 Main Drive in Platteville, Wisconsin. 53818. Bring your ID. Signature may be required. Unclaimed prizes will be disposed of at the discretion of Queen Bee Radio. All decisions are final. Winners are responsible for all taxes, fees, usage charges, tariffs, and other fees associated with their prize. Queen Bee Radio makes no guarantee of being awarded prize and is released for all landowners.
A full list of our general contest rules can be found online at 1590WPVL.com or at the Queen Bee Radio offices. Keep listening for your next chance to win. Endgame time.
High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling of Lancaster and Russell Law Offices. One more time. And Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. River Ridge beats Highland 26-0. The game is called due to lightning with 2.5 minutes left. The game was obviously, the outcome was pretty obvious. Today's game brought to you by the Economy Feed Mill of Bloomington, Glen Haven, and Fenimore. Custom blends for your operation and more. Saluting their own Levi Worley and the Timberwolves, the Economy Feed Mill, Bloomington, Glen Haven, and Fenimore. Also brought to you by the Philback family of dealerships, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. See their 7 brands at 4 locations: Highland, Basketball, Richland Center, Prairie du Chien, and Philback.com. Also brought to you by Claire Bank, with their 8 locations in southwest Wisconsin, proudly supporting this area's high school sports teams. Claire Bank, where they say we can do that. Member FDIC, rated equal housing lender. Brought to you by Hazy Service and Towing in Montfort, your trusted friend for service and towing. Hazy Service and Towing in Montfort, better equipped to better serve. And brought to you by TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch of Cobb and Platteville. Beautify your home with decorative colored mulch. When you think mulch, give Jim Drury and the gang a call at TriStar Pallets of Highland and TriStar Mulch of Cobb and Platteville. 26-0. River Ridge beats Highland. Culver's Cool Down, presented by Culver's in Dubuque, Galena, and Platteville, after these messages on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL.
Post-game 4 minutes.
Dave Licks with Paul Azinger, welcoming you back to the Healthy Stand Classic. We couldn't ask for better conditions. 68 degrees from a UV index of 3. This direct exposure to midday sun could be increasing her risk to melanoma. It looks like she's making a change. Let's see what she puts out. Oh, wow, looks like she's pulling out a 15. I don't know, looks like she's going with the 30s. Strong choice. Incredible. Specialty Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer.
That's good.
Visit healthystand.org.
Put a frog in boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in cool water and slowly heat it up. That frog will boil. As veterans, we tell ourselves a lie that we can handle anything. We let the water boil. You are not a frog. If you are a veteran who needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach. Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs.
Over 2.8 million Americans have served in our military since 9/11. Many have returned home with devastating injuries and few resources for them and their families. This is news correspondent Bob Hoover. I sustained a life-threatening injury while reporting from Iraq in 2006. The military had my back that day, and they had each other's while serving. It's time we had theirs. Please join us as part of the Got Your 6 initiative. To learn more, go to gotyour6.org using the number 6.
Teachers shape the future. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist to make preventing pandemics their life's work. Sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist will help combat climate change and generating possibilities for a student who will be the first in their family to graduate college. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it? There's really not even that much nicotine in it, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes.
My kid?
He knows it's dangerous.
5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking questions.
Like what?
Hey, Boo-Boo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the uncertain. Visit discovertheforest.org to find your own meaning. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So, what's the asking price on these houses?
You'll probably be more comfortable living somewhere else.
How long is the lease? Sure, you can afford to live here, but
How about the schools?
we have twins.
This neighborhood probably wouldn't be right for your kids.
If a real estate or rental agent is anything like this, you are being discriminated against, and it is illegal. If you experience housing discrimination, go to HUD.gov/fair housing and report it. Fair housing. The law is on your side. A message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different from me.
Me too.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from Story4 Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council. From Culver's of Culver's.
Times have changed since Mom first created Culver's Double Butter
Just
Burger
going to
Buns, but
Culver's.
one thing sure hasn't.
Yeah.
Craig, what would you like to share for show and tell?
This is a butter burger. Fresh beef, never frozen, seared to perfection.
No, it's
Served with
PSAs,
real
yeah.
Wisconsin cheese on a lightly buttered bun.
Butter burger.
Hungry? Stop in for one today.
It's time for the Culver's Cold Down Postgame Show, brought to you by Culver's in Dubuque, Galena, Platteville, and Prairie-du-Chien.
High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, servicing Southwest Wisconsin since 1999. Myers Heating and Cooling, where they say, don't worry, we got this. And Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL. Game number one went really well for River Ridge tonight. 26-0 win over Highland. And while we await the stats, we'll give you some updates on the Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. There have been some lightning delays, and I forgot to mention this game ended early because of lightning. Just 2:30 was remaining, however. But at the half, it is now Darlington leading Platteville 20-6, and that is on Extreme 107.1. Bondwell leading Cuba City. Last score we had was 33-7 in the third. That's on Super Hits 106.
The Bondwell Bears. I'm pretty sure that's their nickname.
Okay, I'll take your word for that.
I just know that.
Potosi Cassville leading Seneca 34-6. That is in the third quarter. La Crosse Aquinas leading Prairie du Chien 16-0. That's a first quarter score, believe it or not. Fenimore in the Milk Can game beat Iowa Grant tonight 30-12. Royal over Boscobel 36-0. That game ended early because of the lightning. And speaking of which, Southwestern, East Dubuque, and Riverdale was suspended after a quarter, and they will apparently try to pick it up again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in Muscoda. The game was Southwestern leading Riverdale 8-0 after one, and then came the lightning. Kind of interesting that there was lightning to the east of us, but they didn't stop the game, and it, really was moving away, I think, so that turned out to be all right. Then the Lightning returned with 2:30 left, and the officials said, I think we're done, and I think everybody agreed to that.
Yep.
I think everybody could also agree that River Ridge got off to a great start tonight, with one major exception being the 5 fumbles, but again, they didn't turn the ball over, which is kind of crazy. You fumble the ball 5 times, but you hold on to it.
Absolutely. They can't count on that happening too often this season, but hey, when you win a game like that, you do so many things well. I think it'll give Coach Winkers some pretty good coaching atmosphere. You can really teach off a win.
Yes, and the things got started right away. Iowa Grant got the opening kickoff and took it 70 yards in 10 plays in 5 minutes and 45 seconds. That was kind of, I think, could be considered the drive of the game, because it had a 4th down conversion for a first down, and it had a 3rd down conversion for a first down, and it ended with Matthew Nice throwing for 33 yards and a touchdown to Braden Krubel.
Are you trying to steal my thunder?
I am not. I'm just suggesting, that's all. The 2-point run worked for nice 8-0 River Ridge with 6:06 left in the first. Then the Timberwolves got it again, actually a whole quarter later, 71 yards in 14 plays in 6 minutes and 28 seconds, which included a pair of first down conversions on third down, and ended up with on 4th and goal. It was actually I think I skipped one there. I did, because it didn't count as a drive because it was one play, 49 yards, touchdown pass from Brandon Davis to Krubel, the second of the day. 2-point run short, 14-0 with 10:23 left in the first half. Then the 14-play, 71-yard drive that took 6.5 minutes almost, and ended up with Davis's second touchdown pass, this time to, of all people, the quarterback, Matthew Nice. 2-point run short made it 20-0. That was the halftime score. And then River Ridge in the third quarter got an interception that set the ball up at the 15-yard line. 8 plays in 4 minutes and 3 seconds, and a touchdown run by Matthew Nice. 2-point run short, 26-0. That was in the third quarter, and that was all the scoring. You have some stats?
I do have some stats, and they're dominated by River Ridge. I want to thank Tom Krubel for getting these to us. First downs, Highland had 3. Not very productive on offense when you only have 3 first downs the entire night. River Ridge with 15. Rushing yards, Highland, 11 rushes for 15 yards, about 1.1 yard per rush. Not good. Ridge had 49 rushes for 150 yards, only 3 yards a carry, but it was effective enough to open up the passing game. Highland, 5 for 17 throwing for 90 yards, 1 interception. But you know, those numbers could have been better, Steve. There were 2 big drops in the fourth quarter. I think their quarterback Healy is going to be just fine. I mean, I thought he got better as the game went on. For River Ridge, 10 out of 14 throwing, 188 yards and 3 touchdowns, all in the first half. Basically, the only other stat would be 2 turnovers for Highland, none for Ridge, although they fumbled 5 times. That turnover by Highland to begin the second half, when they had a nice kick return and the ball at the 50-yard line, that just killed them. So that's it for stats, I think, Steve.
All right, but we are far from done because we have to tell you the drive of the game presented by Les Mack Chevy Buick downtown and Les Mack Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram on Highway 61 North in Lancaster. Custom order your new vehicle today from Les Mack, where you always get more from Les.
Which one do you want? The drive of the game?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going with River Ridge's third touchdown drive right at the end of the first half. Krubel with a 6-yard pass from Davis, I believe, made it 20-0. 14 plays, 71 yards. Extra point was no good, but 20-0 basically was it tonight.
Although, I do still think that first drive really kind of established things, didn't it? You know, to get the opening kickoff.
Would you be patient with
okay,
me?
all right.
Be patient. We have 2 more things to do.
It's early in the season. All right. The Tricor Turning Point is brought to you by Tricor Insurance. Insurance plans built for you, your family, and your business. Contact Tricor Insurance today.
The turning point. 4th down on your own 40, and you go for it, and they made it, and then they converted another 4th down. That to me was the turning point, because I think that showed a lot of confidence that Wade had in his players that they could get the first down, and they just went on to take the ball down to the end zone and scored 70 yards, 10 plays. But I think that faking or going for it on 4th down on the very first drive is the turning point of the game. So you and I are in agreement that first drive was extremely important.
Yeah, the thing it also did, you look at coaches that have young teams, they a lot of times played very conservatively. He didn't.
No, he rolled the dice, no doubt about that.
And finally, the scrapper of the game, the West End Salvage scrapper of the game, the player whose hustle and scrappiness stood out in trying to lay the opponent to waste, presented by West End Salvage of Lancaster. I bet I know who this is.
Yes, Braden Krubel certainly laid Highland the waste. He ran through their secondary. I mean, there were times there was 2 guys on him. They just couldn't guard him. I mean, he was open. Matthew Nice and Brandon Davis got him the ball, but Braden Krubel made plays, 3 touchdown receptions. I'm sure he was a targeted guy coming in by Highland, but they just could not do anything with him tonight. So Braden Krubel, the scrapper of the game. Are you okay with that one?
Definitely.
Okay, all right.
We have known each other for a few years, so don't assume we're going to start slugging each other once we're off the air.
No,
or anything
no,
like that.
We're good.
I think one thing that Highland's really going to need to work on is their defense. And maybe they didn't think they were going to have to deal with a pass as much by River Ridge, but they showed some problems, I think, that they need to fix.
Their defense was put in the soup a lot tonight. Their offense couldn't move the ball. They couldn't get first downs. And, they don't have a big school. I'm sure I don't know their personnel that well, but I'm sure they have a lot of guys going both ways. They need to fix their offense, and I think it's very fixable. I think they have a quarterback good enough to throw the football, running, what was that, 11 times for 15 yards. You're not going to beat anybody doing that. You have to be able to run the football, and that will make it easier on their quarterback. So maybe they have some things to fix on defense. I think they have some things to fix on offense too.
All right, 26-0. River Ridge beats Hilbert tonight. I knew I was going to say that at some point. Highland tonight. Having a flashback to 1997. And we will be back to wrap up the Culver's cool down and our broadcasts from Jerry Oosgaard Field at River Ridge High School after these messages on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL.
Post-game 1 minute.
My son Ben was born with congenital heart disease and spent the first 8 months of his life in the hospital. Starlight Children's Foundation has played an important role in our lives. For 5 weeks as a baby, Ben lived in a Starlight Hero wagon instead of having to sleep in a hospital bed. Starlight provides moments of joy for families like mine at a time when there's very little to be found. Learn more about how Starlight brightens the lives of sick kids by visiting starlight.org today.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. This sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Post-game 1 minute.
High school football presented by Wolf Construction and Myers Heating and Cooling. This is what happens when you don't read your script. On ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL here in the Wolf Construction broadcast booth at River Ridge High School. River Ridge beats Highland tonight 26-0. One more pass through the Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Final score now, Bondwell has beaten Cuba City tonight 39-14. That was on Super Hits 106. La Crosse Aquinas beats Prairie du Chien tonight 28-0 at the half. Darlington leading Platteville 20-6. They had a lightning delay, and that game is on Extreme 107.1. Potosi Cassville in the third quarter beating Seneca 34-6. In the milk can game, Fenimore beat Iowa Grant tonight 30-12. Royal beats Boscobel tonight 36-0. That game ended early due to lightning. And there was this game also, for that matter, ended up early due to lightning, but it was just 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, and the game was obviously the result. It was just going to be a question of what the final score was. Tomorrow, Brewers baseball. They are at Wrigley Field after losing today to the Cubs 8-7. They'll try to come back 12:45 Saturday, 12:45 Sunday here on AM 1590 WPVL. Benton, Scales, Mound, Shalsburg, and Ozaki. First time they have ever played each other. 1:40 Saturday from Fredonia. Once I find it on 97.7 Country WGLR. Brewers, Dodgers next week. Late start on AM 1590 WPVL. Volleyball premieres on Tuesday. Lancaster at River Ridge, 6:40 on 97.7 Country WGLR. Packers, who are leading at the half, I think that was 13-10 over New Orleans. They are at Kansas City Thursday night, 5 o'clock start on 97.7 Country WGLR. And then Friday, here's our football schedule. Platteville will go to Elgin St. Edwards, 6:40 start on Extreme 107.1. Lancaster at Cuba City at 6:40 on 97.7 Country WGLR. And Boscobel at Southwestern East Dubuque, 6:40 on Super Hits 106. Thanks to Wade Winkers and the staff at River Ridge High School. Thanks to our sponsors who help us bring this game to you. RJ Osterhaus running things online and on YouTube. And thank you for joining us. High school football presented by Myers Heating and Cooling and Wolf Construction is the sports presentation of ESPN Radio, AM 1590, WPVL Platteville. River Ridge over Highland today, 26-0. For the Wolf Construction broadcast booth for Tom Nisus, I'm Steve Prestegard. ESPN Radio is next. We'll see you for more football tomorrow.
Bad